Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Andrew, and we are the IB English guys. Folks, today we want to revisit the individual oral assessment. We started this project about 2 years ago. We're about 150 plus videos later. We feel like we've improved our craft. Thanks for a lot of the feedback you've given us. It's been incredibly helpful. We want to look at these skills again in a sort of a fresh, new, and concise way. Mr. Giles, what are we looking at today?
Today we're going to talk about the individual oral step-by-step process. We like to break this whole construction into some manageable steps, and we think this video will be super helpful to give you an overview of the steps that you can follow to make a great IO. That's the goal, is that every student, you're making your own IO. So let's just break it down and make it manageable. That's what today's video is about.
Mr. Giles, why is a step-by-step process so important? What are some things that this allows us to do?
The first thing is it allows us to review the course. We review the course and have a whole menu of the text that we've studied. This is super helpful, and it's also gratifying to do that.
Yeah, also, when we make that list, we want to keep our mind open to different possibilities and pairings. Oftentimes, we try to link two ideas together that are really common, but if we open our mind and explore some more nuanced and insightful pairings, we might come up with something more interesting, more insightful.
I like that. When we see that menu, we can make those pairings. Also, we understand the importance of the global issue by looking at this process. And this is the backbone of our IO, as we said in a bunch of videos. So this is rooted in this process.
Yeah, also this process, we believe, allows you to look at each individual component. We sort of see 6, maybe 7 components here if you include the Q&A. Each one is slightly nuanced and detailed in its own way, so going through a very fixed process allows us to understand the very nuanced differences and score more on this assessment.
Yeah. The last thing is it gives us confidence. I mean, we like to accomplish tasks. We like to-do lists where we can tick the box and finish a step. So I think when we do each step, it makes us feel like we're making momentum and we know what we're doing.
Agreed. Now, we want to go ahead and offer you these 10 steps. You want to keep these in mind when you're going on your journey. Mr. Giles, what's number 1?
The first step is to review the text. Like we said, we want to review a menu of all the texts that we've studied. We want to see all the texts, non-literary and literary, and think about that range of text. This is rewarding too, because we can see all the rich text that we studied.
Agree. Once you've seen all the text, you want to think about what are some of the themes? What are the key ideas, the concepts? Perhaps you want to think about the UN Sustainable Development Goals. You know, what are the big, rich ideas floating in there that are going to formulate strong global issues and make a great IO? How about number 3?
Yeah, step 3 is where we take our two texts that we've selected and we think about, how can I narrow the topic? How can I take a topic and go from topic to global issues? So we're slowly narrowing that down using the inverted pyramid.
Now, once we've gone through that inverted pyramid, we've done some Q&A with a friend, perhaps our teacher, then it's time to craft that global issue statement. We need to slow down here. We need to look at examples here. We need to be very focused here because, as we've said ad nauseum, it is the
backbone of our IO. It's going to hold that whole thing together, and it has to be something that is complex, but not too convoluted. We want to make sure that it's got a repeatable phrase that we can use throughout our IO. Very important. Step number 5 is, now that we've selected the global issue, we want to think about the hot spots. The hot spots in a literary work are those key moments that articulate the global issue. We want to identify those and make a list of those so that we're thinking carefully about the entire work.
Yeah, once we sort of looked at those hotspots, within those hotspots, that's where we're going to find our extract. This is ideally roughly 20, maybe 25 lines of a literary work. And in there, we're going to find, our global issue. We also want to pay attention and make sure there are some rich authorial choices, because the entire course is about how authorial choices shape meaning. In this case, we're thinking about shaping meaning with respect to our narrowed global issue. Yeah. What's next, Giles?
Can't emphasize that enough. You got to find the right extract. If the right extract really just shouts out the global issue, they're the authors in the work.
We have another video about that. You want to check that out. What's next, Giles?
Then we have to closely read and annotate our extract. We cannot shortcut that step. We want to think carefully, slow down, pay attention, really look carefully at author choices, select those key textual references, annotate that. You can annotate in a variety of ways. You can do it digitally. You can have an old-fashioned highlighter with notes, but spend time annotating.
Agreed. Now, once we've finished off the extract and have annotated that in great detail, it's time to explore the work as a whole, or the non-literary body of work as a whole, and find 2, maybe 3 other moments where that global issue is also explored. It's very important that we don't shortchange this step, because we need to maintain balance Whatever we've done for the extract must be balanced off with what we've done for the work as a whole. We're almost there, Giles.
Yeah, step 9 is something we like to talk about, is explore and look for the signature moves that the creator or that the author uses to construct their text. This is going to appear throughout the body of work. So we want to think about that. And so those signature moves are going to be referred to when we are talking about the work as a whole.
Yeah, well said, Mr. Giles. Now, lastly, once we've done all of that close reading, we've done all that deep thinking, we've crafted the global issue, we've got our extracts, we've got our other moments, what do we end with, Giles?
We're thinking about the outline. We're making the outline, and we're going to create, from all of our notes and our ideas, we're going to create a very simple, roughly 150-word, 10 bullet point outline. It doesn't have to be complete sentences, but it's going to be our guide. It's going to be our guide that's going to help us as we're delivering our I/O. It's going to help us with our roadmap. And if we've done that well, the outline's kind of fun to make and pretty easy.
Well said, Mr. Giles. Folks, in the end, we hope this 10-step process will guide you to I/O success. Our students use this process. They're very successful with the course. We encourage you to follow a similar process. Come back for more detailed videos. We'll break these steps down in more detail and make sure that you're successful on your IB English endeavor. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Thanks, guys.